Fuck. Perfect. Okay, well, I'm back. Yeah, it's been what? Oh fuck, I don't remember the last time I did this. Let's check. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm kind of excited. This shit's kind of cool. I miss doing this a lot. Yeah, nothing much has been going on. I just really miss doing this. You know, I don't know why I stopped. I think I just lost passion. I also wanted to do more interviews, but I was trying to get a girl to interview, not to sound sexist or anything, but I also did not want people to think I was sexist. Where I was only interviewing dudes, and that's just me being honest. Because I realized there was a chain going on. I was only interviewing dudes, and I was asking girls that I actually liked their music from. I was like, "Can I interview you?" And they would say yes, but they would not show up to the interview, or they just wouldn't answer. Aww. And they would leave me on red or wouldn't answer at all. And I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do interviews anymore. And that's when I started to do reviews. And yeah, I feel like I you know, think it's a good break.
You don't say.
But now we're here. We're gonna do an album review on Tyler's "Don't Tap the Glass." You know, the album is based off of Alter Ego. He has different alter egos in all his albums. There's Bastard, Goblin, and then Wolf as Wolf. Or there's also multiple ones. There's Wolf, Samuel. What's the other one? Yeah, it's just Wolf and Samuel, huh? And then it's just the girl or whatever, like Salem and shit like that. And then there's Cherry Bomb, which is Cherry Bomb's alter ego, right? Yeah, it's Cherry Bomb. And then Flower Boy, which is fucking Flower Boy. And then Igor, which is Igor. And then Bolden Air from Call Me If You Get Lost. And then St. Chroma from Chromacopia. And then Big Poe, which is Don't Touch the Glasses, alter ego. And I really like how he's starting to transition more of not having the alter egos names as the album. Kind of gives us more to like look deeper in the music to see who it is, who's next, instead of just having it as he's actually like having a title, which is fine. You can have a title as the names or whatever. But oh wait, Dr. TC is also in fucking Goblin too. This album was made in July 21st, 2025. Been a while, I know. It's not. I'm making it seem like this album just dropped, but fuck it, we're making it now. I'm trying to make a comeback video. This album is more of like erotic, crazy, awkward, and just like overall weird, but not in a disrespectful way. The most like complimented way I could probably say. This album is more represented to like the weird kids out there, and this is like not even saying it like as a negative derogatory term, just more of something that is trying to be normalized. But it's more of trying to. I really appreciate it because there's a lot of people who really can't be out their comfort zone, and they want to, but they just choose not to because they don't want to be looked at as weird. And I really respect Tyler for trying to push those kids' confidence up a little bit. And he also said it too, saying that he was talking in an interview. I don't know specifically which interview, but he did say that he wanted to make an album where people could just dance and like dance in the public just because they want to. But for some reason society takes that as weird, and he just makes this album to make it seem like it's not weird. And then I really like how he made that for the album release. I don't know what it was for the album release, right, where he played all his songs live in front of his fans, and they all went in to watch him, and it was just a really big dance party. So I really like that. I really appreciate that, and it's something. I think this album was pretty special and really different compared to the other ones. Other ones is just him being more into his feels, or just the way he's like feeling. Obviously with Igor, Flower Boy, St. Chroma, Cherry Bomb. That's the one that a lot of people get conflicted ratings towards, but now it's something that he breaks that shell, tries to prove all the haters wrong. He doesn't want to being put in a box. He's trying to do something that people tell him he can't be, which is good, which is something everyone should do. But yeah, the first track, Big Poe, his alter ego, obviously, it features a skateboard and Pharrell Williams, and he has a sample in the song by Busta Rhymes called "Past the Coverseer" in that song. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, butchering it bad, but it's on track 17 on his album "Follow If You Can." Something I really admire from this song is, the intro. He just talks about, this is Don't Tap the Glass. Really cool intro, just him and the voice. Sounds more robotic, kind of eerie, but it's weird, but that's what it's meant to be. Out of nowhere, it just. I probably sound dumb, but that's just the first part, and then after it automatically goes to like drums, jumping, like very energetic. I really like that. I really like the different transitions he has. He does that a lot throughout the album. He transitions a lot, going from calm and then straight to like 0 to 100, and that's just really cool. You don't really hear that a lot now, but because it just makes people awkward. But that's his theme. That's the whole thing of his album. And I think that's what also gives mixed reviews on this album. People just don't end up liking it because it just sounds weird. And also, I'm not gonna lie, there's also people out there who just like Tyler the Creator just because he's Tyler the Creator, which I respect. They're his fans. And yeah, but there's also some who also admire his music because they really like it. I'm also being honest, because I know there are some tracks on there that are kind of just okay or not that good. Just sound a little bit redundant, but we'll get to that later. But the song is just mainly just talking about him bragging, and which is fully understandable because if you knew him, you knew where he was going, like how he started. People not really give a fuck about him, thinking he's just a weird little kid. But bragging how he started, and then now he's making all this money, making good shit because people actually like his stuff. It's very respectable that he does that. He gets to brag, because he you see him, from how he started. People didn't like what he was doing. People hated the songs he was saying and stuff. And now he's proving everyone wrong, where people were saying, like, you're not going to be shit. You're just this person from ridiculousness, or, you're this crazy kid in the Loiter Squad or whatever. It kind of reminds me of, DJ Khaled when he won Igor as, best rap album, and how DJ Khaled was honestly straight up hating on him, saying, like, no one's going to play this weird shit. Like what Tyler said, DJ Khaled's, main thing is to be the best. He's the greatest. And now this like little weird kid, making this weird pop album where a bunch of weird kids love, made this song, and now he won a Grammy for it, and now he's hating on it because he's saying, oh, no one really listens to that song. Who the fuck listens to DJ Khaled anyways, bro? This fool all just yells his name on a fucking song and then calls it his track. This fool can't really DJ. Like, look at this shit. Overall, I do think I admire a lot of Pharrell's verse because Tyler really admired Pharrell a lot, especially before he knew him and then after he knew him. I always thought Pharrell was always that big brother to Tyler. He was helping him, guiding him how to do shit, and helping him grow with his music. And I really like the similarities that he was talking about, like, because Tyler was talking about him having all this shit, having all this nice stuff, cool stuff, being the greatest, and he is. I mean, honestly, this guy grew a lot. Even like during 2017, a lot of people didn't really like know who he was if you just said his name, and now this guy made a name for himself. And I really like how Pharrell really talks about similar things because it makes it seem like they're not even just he's not even his mentor anymore. They're like brothers. It makes it seem like they're like brothers. They know, they've been through each other. They've been through the same shit. Obviously not the exact same stuff, but they've been to pretty tough situations. How I imagine it is they are being these, like Patrick and SpongeBob. That's how I imagine it, being best friends, inseparable, and then making something that they're both really good at, So that's how I see it. It just overall like meshes really, really well with like the verses because I don't know. I always thought Pharrell's voice when he rapped, amazing. This one could sing too, but like when he raps, bro, especially when he was on Nigo's album. What was that one song? Oh, Functional Addict. That one, Functional Addict. I really like how he was like rapping in there, and it was pretty cool. He has like a more serious. I like when he seriously raps, like he's like how he raps in basically in Functional Addict is like pretty similar. Kind of not too similar because he kind of has like a big, tougher, deeper voice a little bit in Big Bo, but you get what I mean. Sugar on My Tongue, amazing song. It reminds me a lot. It's not related at all, but it reminds me a lot of Reggie Snow's album Dear Annie on the track LMFAO. it doesn't sound the exact same thing, but it sounds similar in a way where it is, talking about very similar stuff sexually, and just more erotic, just more crazy pop, and more just out there. It's not really trying to be in the circle with all the normal people, which I really like. Overall, bro, freaky ass song, bro. Just freaky as shit, especially if you watch the music video, bro. I mean, it's cool, but it's freaky as fuck. But it's dope. It's cool. But yeah, I really overall like the beat. It just reminds me a lot of Reggie Snow's LMFAO, because I just really like that song. That's one of my favorite songs on that album. So make sure to listen to the album too. But I'm not gonna talk about that. What I imagine how it sounds like is it reminds me of being like in a black and white tile floor with mirrors on the wall, a disco ball with strobe lights hitting the disco ball while it's spinning, and a bunch of people dancing. That's what it probably sounds like a club, but that's what it sounds like to me. The last, I like the last 45 seconds of the song. That's my favorite part because, it transitions to something else more calm, and then like I said from the beginning, it transitions to something very like from 0 to 100, and that's just something that I really love, especially because overall the whole track is just out of the box. It's out of it's not nowhere near to what it's supposed to be, and I feel like this whole album overall is just a bunch of wild cards back to back to back. Obviously, there's some that are kind of similar, and again, get back to that. But there's a bunch of wild cards in here, and that's what I really like because it's not really in order. It's not really trying to fit in anywhere. It's just on its own thing, and it just sounds like just cool overall, and it meshes like really well. Because it's just something that he creates that he really likes, and he just throws it on an album and calls it a day, and it's perfect. Not too perfect, but it's good. It's a good album. I just really like the last 45 seconds because it just midway in the transition, he's calm, talking more soft, and out of nowhere he's screaming, and that's just something really cool. I really like that, and his screams. I think that's why I also like LMFAO. I don't mean to bring this up again, but I think that's why I like LMFAO from Reggie Snow, because he also kind of just screams in more of like a crazy voice. But you guys gotta listen to yourself to see what I mean. And then now we have a Sucker Free, and this one is a more of a fun track. I could always appreciate, the Odd Future references, which I really like because, it shows that he's always trying to reference something that he came from and how he started. And which is, he didn't really completely start, but that's how he started to create his name. Because what he really wanted to do is create a collective with it's all his favorite people that he knows that are good, actually good, and he sees something in them. And he wanted to make a name for them, and he did. Odd Future was never meant to last long. It wasn't his plan to last like after 10 years from now or whatever. Like, it wasn't never meant to last long. His whole point was just to make a name for the people that he loved his music for, because he had that genuine love for music. But yeah, and he wanted to make that, and he did, and now he just wants to show his love to Odd Future and the bros, like how he said, Odd Future and the bros in here. But yeah, which I really appreciate, because I always love Odd Future, and I'm glad he doesn't forget that he came from, because everyone loves Odd Future. His fans love Odd Future, and just cool that he references it. He references also That Guy, which is from the freestyle he made from Hey Now by Kendrick Lamar's GMX album. And he just talks about that he's that guy, kind of similar to what he's saying on the freestyle, like, I'm that guy. But yeah, it's really cool how he mentions it, in different songs. And he also mentions there's different tracks, especially from Cornucopia, that he mentions throughout this album, which is really cool that he kind of just tosses it in there really quick. It's really cool Easter eggs that I really like artists to do. Even when the other artists mention other artists' like songs or just their name, which is really cool. I really admire that anytime. I just really like it that other people appreciate other people's stuff. It's really cool just to hear him appreciate his own stuff too, which gives him that self-confidence. This song is more of him, being that guy and not trying to be a bum, making money, and he's just literally what the title is, trying to be sucker free. Not trying to be a sucker, not trying to be a loser, because he's trying to become who he is, because he had a lot of people doubting him, and now look at him now. People are still doubting him because they still believe he's that weird guy, but he's not. He's someone. He is a someone. He's not a no one. Not a bad track. but it is one of my least tracks that catch my attention. It's just okay to me. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to think about what it is. It's just something in there that I don't know. I'm not hating or anything, but it's just something in there that's just like, it's okay, you know. Obviously, there's other people that are gonna think, different, but to me, not my two favorite. I do really appreciate him talking about trying to get the grind, money, stuff like that, and the bitches.
Don't get fame, money.
Don't forget the bitches.
There's
Next track, Mama Nem. This one, oh my god, Mama Nem. This one was my favorite. This one, when I first listened to the song, usually I don't know why I have like this. I don't know if it's like sixth sense of music or something, but every time I look at a track, or like I go through a new album and I look at a track list and I look at the name, I'm like judging a book by its cover, which is kind of fucked up, but who cares? If it sounds weird or sounds cool, I click on it. And that's exactly what happened when Baby Keem first dropped Melodic Blue. And I was looking through the track first and I saw 16 and I was like, let me play it. And it's the last track too, so I played it and I was like, bro, amazing song. But that's how I was when I first saw this album. I wanted to play from the first because I feel like I should start doing that. But I was like, nah, let me scroll through the names. And I saw Mom and Him, and I was like, ooh, let me play real quick. And it was 2 minutes. So I was like, hey, it's a short, sweet song. Let me play it. Amazing. I love how crazy it is. I love how chaotic it is. I love how aggressive he gets. I really like when it was like, okay, and then. I'm not gonna say the other words. Yeah, I really like that. It's just how aggressive he is, and I don't know. It just sounds really nice. It sounds because I feel like you don't really hear too much aggression anymore from him. Not since like Cherry Bomb. I feel like Cherry Bomb, he really sounded aggressive. There is obviously in Flower Boy, you heard some Igor. There was like New Magic Wand and shit like that, but having a bunch of songs being very chaotic and crazy, you don't really see that from him as much anymore, and it's something that I really you really gotta appreciate. Because you haven't seen that in a while from him, and if people are hating on it because it's just different, weird as fuck, who cares? And then the next track after that is Stop Playing With Me, and this the music video to this song pretty cool too. I like the fit he was wearing, the full red. I think he was wearing yellow too. I could be wrong, but from what I remember, he was wearing all like the red leather jumpsuit, and that's really cool with the leather hat. That's just dope. I really like the colors he picked. He's really good with picking colors like that. Anyways, I love the transition he has from the first kind of, I don't know what you call that, like alarm one count beat, where it's just like the do 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 do.
niggas really weird, bro.
And then it goes, it follows from Mama Nem and then to Stop Playing With Me, and I really like that. It's really cool. It's kind of like a part two, and it's kind of sounds like the two songs in one, but obviously it's two separate songs. But I could see it being one whole song where it's a slash, where it's Mama Nem slash Mama Stop Playing With Me, because it transitions pretty well. It's just a really nice song. I really like the amps that he added to it, the amplitudes. Because you don't really hear a lot of artists. I think personally I'm just biased with amplitudes whenever artists put it in. I just really appreciate it. I always hear it a lot in like rock, heavy metal, or just rappers having it in. But I really appreciate it anytime, especially Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi added a lot of amplitudes in some of his songs, or not like most of his songs, especially Speed and Bullet to Heaven. Amazing. I know a lot of people don't like that album, but it holds a special place in my heart. I really like how very energetic, jumpy it makes me. I think the first time I heard this song, I was in my car, bro. I was just like kind of being hyper. I was just jumping in my car, and people probably thought I was just tripping in the parking lot, but I don't care. He also mentions the song Ratata from Chromacopia. Tell them boys get off my dick. Use a funky ass bitch. Ratata-ta-ta-ta-ta. Tell them boys hop off my dick. That's a bar, bro. I don't know if you tell me that's amazing. I love when he adds like right after it's like the automatic drums and then the sirens and then more hard amps, which is really cool to hear all together because it really kind of brings you up. And he also mentions that he wanted to make an album that also makes you to do anything, like be yourself, run around, dance and just go on a run. And honestly, bro, this is a perfect song to run to. This song is represented as someone who always, like how I said, looked out as weird, not really taken too seriously. And he does this work as if the music industry is a game to him, but he's serious. He's always been serious about it. It's just he's doing it his own way. He's not trying to be like someone or be like something that he should be, because he is making rap, he is making pop, he is making all these songs, but he's doing his own way. He's fitting the genre. It's just he's not fitting it with the same exact people's trying to associate him to be. Kind of representing not himself to like do this. He's making history and whatnot, but he's also trying to show like, hey, people, come join me. Like come, like stop being in that bubble, and don't join me. Join yourself, but don't join them. Just break out that box. Leave it alone. Burn it and leave it at ash, because you don't need it. You really don't need it. Just be yourself, pretty much. But yeah, and I really like it because it just proves everyone wrong. It shows how he turns out good, like a good artist, and it's true. Can't be hating on the guy because he is that guy. The next one is Ring Ring Ring. This one is more of another out of the box type of album. It sounds more as if Saint Chroma, like parts of Saint Chroma and then Big Poe is together in his mind, and it just made this song because it sounds more. It's meant to be like a love song, trying to call someone up to let them know you still miss them, you still love them, and wanting to get them back, and there's no other way. The way he puts it together is it sounds aggressive, but at the same time, like his tone, not his words, but his tone sounds aggressive, but at the same time it does has like some sweet gestures in there where it's, I believe, coming from Swing Chroma, and the Big Poe is the more aggressive tone. But overall, really good track. It reminds me a lot of the 1970s comic book era. That's how I picture it in my mind when I listen, or even when I look at like old comic books and stuff and read them. It just sounds like how this song sounds, and I don't know how to explain it, but every time I like see music or look at something, I try to like imagine in my head what it sounds like, and it sounds exactly like that. It just sounds really nice, really nostalgic, really classic, I would like to say. I like the kind of like the telephone type of vibe it has to it, which is obviously is the theme for it, because ring ring ring. The two meshed songs together. This is a theme that Tyler adds to like all his songs. He has it doesn't really talk about it in Goblin, but you could tell from the song Fish is another half to whatever the fuck it is.
She's a boppy bitch. She's a boppy bitch.
Then we have Wolf, which is Campfire, Beamer. I forgot what the other one was. Party Isn't Over. Party. That's my favorite part of the album, but whatever. And then Cherry Bomb, which is Perfect and Fucking Young Perfect. And then Flower Boy, which is Mr. Lonely 911. That one. And then Igor, which is Gone Gone Thank You. And then Call Me If You Get Lost, which is Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance. That one's a good one. And then obviously we have Don't Tap the Glass, which is Don't Tap the Glass / Tweaking. I'm not gonna lie, first half of the song, which is Don't Tap the Glass, I don't fuck with it. I think it sounds redundant. It doesn't. I don't love people gonna be hating on me, but I think it sounds redundant from other tracks like Big Poe. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like, with no disrespect, I mean it probably is disrespectful, but it sounds like the little brother of Big Poe. It just sounds like they're talking about the same thing, just in a different meaning, like not meaning, but like different words, kind of just different synonyms. I'm not too crazy over the instrumental, the beats as well. It just sounds, I don't know, redundant as well, like Big Poe. Like I said, it sounds like the little brother of Big Poe. But I still appreciate the meaning behind like Don't Tap the Glass, and how I think about it with the meaning Don't Tap the Glass is, I could be wrong, but I feel like he's kind of egging us on, saying don't tap it, but like break it, like break out of that glass, break out of the box. And that's what I get what I mean, like don't put yourself in that box. And then I don't know if you've seen when He started to tease like releasing it. He had, I believe it was outside the Staples Center. I could be wrong if it was out of something, but I think it was the Staples Center where he had a glass case of the figure of Big Poe in there. And I feel like they say don't tap it but break it, release it. And I really like that. I could be wrong, but that's how I like the picture. And maybe that's what he wants us to do. Try to, you know, have our own interpretation of what it means. But that's how I see it. But Tweaking, that second half, so good, bro. I love Tweaking. That's my favorite part. I love the sirens he adds. No one really does add sirens, and I feel like you have to match it perfectly because you don't really. Should I get closer? I feel like I look goofy. Just all right. I feel yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to add sirens to songs and not make it sound annoying or boring. And with him, I feel like he just doesn't overdo it either. He doesn't have it there the whole time. He has it a good amount of like time, and he also adds other stuff to make it sound like that's not the only thing out there that we need to hear that's gonna like make us go crazy. Because he also adds like different beats, which also is really cool. So I really like how he adds like a lot of sirens throughout the album, not just this track but throughout the album. And it's just something you don't really hear too much, and it's really cool to hear. But that keyboard too, I when I was listening to this album for the first time, in fucking July, the keyboard's really nice. I always like the keyboard. I'm always a big fan of keyboard sounds too. I could always like a good keyboard. It sounds cool. It sounds nice, especially the different volumes you could have to it. But it's cool. Don't Worry Baby featuring Madison McFerrin. Amazing song. Amazing. Perfect. It literally sounds like if you were playing on Mario Kart and you're playing on Rainbow Road, bro. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm playing Rainbow. I'm listening like, obviously it's not like Rainbow Road, but it sounds like if I were in real life to drive in Rainbow Road and I hear this in my head. Very beautiful song, very cute. I love the background vocals that Tyler has, especially when he adds that theme to like a radio telephone reception, kind of losing reception, but you can still hear him. Tone that you have like in when he's singing and throughout the song. Which part I mean when he says it is the damn girl, you better move your hip. But it sounds cool. I really like the tone he adds to it. He has like that robotic kind of sound, like how I said, telephone radio type of sound. Madison McFerrin did really good. Beautiful. Really a nostalgic track. I really like how he added it because the whole thing just sounds very nostalgic to me. Sounds like early 2000s, and a lot of people don't. I really like how he likes to go back in time, especially with picking different instrumentals and pieces of songs from other artists and adding it to his album, which is really cool. A lot of people don't really do that, and a lot of people don't really do the 2000s. A lot of people do like the 2000s, type of theme that there was like in that time, and people just don't make it now. And I really like how he likes to, bring it back to like this was what it was back then. Trying to remind us, give us history, pieces of little history, which is cool. He's being like a teacher to us, telling us like what music is, and it's cool. It's really cool that he likes to show his appreciation to music as well. The instrumental that I caught in here, I probably missed a bunch of them, but when I heard this, I caught it because I was like, oh shit, I know what it's from. Like where he says, let me ride, pop it, shake it. It's part from the 12 Gauges song, Let Me Ride. It's a very classic song. Recommend listening to it. But I really like how I said he adds it in there because, he's trying to show his appreciation to music and where he listened to and where he came from and how he created what he's making. And it's really cool. Now, next track, bro. I'll Take Care of You with Yebba, bro. Fantastic.
Fabulous.
Fantastic. Amazing. Pretty. Awesome. Crazy. It gets you floating, bro. You honestly gotta listen to it. And I know I'm like kind of like I'm doing too much about it, like saying so much about it, but bro, you gotta listen to it. That's like, if you don't like the album, listen to that song. At least those two songs, Don't Worry Baby or I'll Take Care of You. Yeba did amazing with her voice, bro. Like, it's just so cool. Amazing song, bro. Like, so good. So nice, so clean, so fresh. It literally sounds like these fucking pictures. That's what it sounds like. That's how I imagine it. This song honestly like got me quiet, and I was just looking at my ceiling, just wow. That's what it is. And I wasn't even on drugs or anything, bro. It goes to the chorus where it goes to Yeba, where it's not Yeba singing, but it's another instrumental that I caught. It's an instrumental from Crime Mob with a track called Nuck If You Buck. It's a really good song, really cool meaning behind it, and I really like how he added it because it's crazy because it's two different genres of like, because I feel like this album's more pop, hip hop kind of like mix it pop and hip hop, and specifically this song is more pop, and he adds a really high energetic, I mean, which is also the album as well, but you know, from this song specifically, he adds something totally different from what the song is and adds it to as an instrumental piece and makes it sound perfectly. I don't know how he's doing this, bro. How he's making all these things like the sirens still blows my mind how he adds like that and makes it sound really nice and cool. And it probably is easy, but fuck, bro, like I don't really hear it around a lot. I just really like how he made it seem like it sound really nice, where it's two different worlds and something you could do. Literally, you can make something sound like two different things and make it sound good together. And I think that's just what art is. You know, you got to make art weird. If you're being yourself while doing art, it's not art. You're just being yourself. You got to make it weird. That's where your true self is at. That's where your heart's. I feel like that's where your heart's at. You know, got to be weird when you make art. The last track is Tell Me What It Is. Now this is like one of the like the whole album itself is kind of like a bunch of wild cards thrown in an album, and which is like good wild cards, and this is like the last final wild card that I do appreciate in the album, and I like the how it's the last song too. It fits perfectly in my opinion. It really correlates well, and it talks about love again, wanting to know what did wrong or what he could fix just so he could, you know, love again. And it sounds like he is it sounds as if he wants that person to come back because he misses that person, but at the same time it's like he sounds more conflicted because, you know, he doesn't know if it's good for him to go back to that person because he truly believed that this person was like for him, and if this person, he has to leave her alone and has to find someone else. He doesn't know if he could find love again. Like he thinks he's gonna be alone, and shit, a lot of people go through that, and I really like how dark and deep he gets with that because it just again doesn't fit the genre. This album's just an album. It's not a specific genre where you obviously, yeah, sure, call it rap or whatever, but I personally think you don't fit it anywhere. You can't really fit it anywhere. It's just its own thing. It's in its own lane. I also like how close he is to the mic, especially when echoing. It reminds me a lot of Speeding Bullet to Heaven, which I talked about earlier. And I really, that's one of my favorite albums from Kid Cudi. It's very different from all the shit he makes, and I get it that it's something that he made because he was going through a lot of stuff with like relapsing and drugs and shit like that. But honestly, it's one of the, and I know it's one of his darkest albums that he doesn't really like talking about it. And if you haven't watched Kid Cudi's documentary, he mentions that, but I'm not trying to talk about Kid Cudi too much. But it reminds me a lot of Speeding Bullet to Heaven, when he is up close to the mic and trying to talk to us, like being in our ear. And I really like that, just telling us what it is. And I just really like how his voice is more up front and the beats are literally like background. Like it's literally as if I'm right here and behind me it's the beat. Like literally, like I'm talking to you guys right here, and then whoever's talking behind me, that's the beat. That's how I imagine it. I just like hearing more of his voice, and it's cool to hear the beats. Obviously, it's cool to hear the beats, but like something that he makes. I don't want to say it again because I feel like it's just boring if I keep saying it, but different. Overall, good album, good outro song to end it off. But yeah, that's literally the end, and I think my final thoughts on it is I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I don't think it's one of his best albums that he made, but it's definitely the most different, out of the box, and odd albums. And odd, not even in a bad way, like a really good way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys could come in more often, because I'm gonna be posting. Hopefully, I'm gonna be posting more, and I would want to. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you have a good day.